Hey, I'm Sarah Tagander, international speaker and trainer for a $40 million division in healthcare. With over a decade of experience working with healthcare providers, I believe that a healthcare practice should do more than just pay back student loans. Each week, I'll bring you the tips, tricks, and experts you need to build your practice both on and offline. Smart people take notes, so grab a pen or open up the Notes app on your phone as we dive into the Health of Your Business podcast. Hey there, and Happy New Year. As the first podcast episode on the Health of Your Business podcast, I'm really excited to talk to you about one of those things that are one of many people's bucket list goals, and that is writing a book. Now, it may or may not be a bucket list goal for you, and I have to be honest, it wasn't for me until I did this podcast episode. I never really thought about myself as someone who had a book. That sounded like that is going to just be something that's going to take way too much work and time until I met this guest that I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to in a moment. But thinking about your book and thinking about what your book could do for you and for your business, I had to take a step back and say, this is everything, especially in the work that I'm doing now with helping health providers kick off their legacy program, that course that not only they're going to be known for the rest of their lives, but even after life, right? When we're gone and what we're leaving behind to this world, to others, a program that others could potentially teach, that could continue on, that really is your legacy. And why not also have that bound in a book? A book is a really easy, low-cost way of a do-it-yourself method. It's a great business card to be able to have. And then if you are to do a course, you have the book to be able to use as a compendium. I just go back to times when I was most successful. I think about my good grades I got when I was in high school. I think about the success I had in college at Boston University. I think about the way that people went ahead and helped teach me how to be a better person. And there was always a book that was assigned. There was always some kind of coursework, do it yourself, something we were going to read on our own. And so why not have that people can go ahead and teach courses from your books, again, for years to come. The guest that I'm about to introduce you to, she is a working physician right now, practicing board certified family physician here in the United States. She is a mom of two herself. She's super duper engaging and all over social media. Follow her. She's Holistic Mom MD on social media. And last year, she wrote 5 books. 5 books. She, at the time of this podcast recording, just a couple months ago, she launched 3 books at the same time. What? She could do all this. And when she talked a little bit about in this episode, her system to be able to do so, it was just really inspiring and made me know in my heart that I can do it too. So I hope you take this episode, you listen to it, and you are really inspired. I hope you go ahead and get her books. They're absolutely fantastic. She's so great. So I want to introduce you to my new favorite friend on the internet. I hope she's yours too, Dr. Madiha Saeed. All right, Dr. Saeed, I have to say, this podcast interview comes with a disclaimer, okay? I'm telling people, this is a disclaimer. It is that there are side effects to listening to this podcast interview. You will be addicted to Dr. Madiha Saeed. You will follow her compulsively on Instagram. You will instantly smile and be a happier, more joyful person because you are infectious in such a good way. When I saw you speak at a conference just a few weeks ago, I said, that's it. This woman and I are going to be friends. She doesn't even know it yet. Dr. Saeed, writing a book. You've written 5 this year. How do you make it work as a mom of 4, a practitioner, an internet extraordinaire personality. Give me your best tips for someone. How do you prepare to go into book writing mode?
I think for me, I know when I first wrote the first one, I told myself, I'm like, I wish somebody had actually written it because I didn't do well in English. I didn't. I really didn't. I didn't like writing. But I needed to communicate, write a message. And I really looked and I searched for somebody to have already communicated that same message so I didn't have to. And what is so crazy is that I didn't find it. Shucks, man. And now I have to write this thing. I know. Shucks. So when I recognized that I had to really step up to the ball game and write this book, that there was, you see a deficit in the market, what is really out there, and then you make it happen. And I saw for my first book, like for example, The Holistic RX, Your Guide to Healing Chronic Inflammation and Disease, I saw that there was a deficit of a book that incorporated integrative, holistic, functional medicine in for over 70, 80 conditions that anybody can use to start, right? No matter their age or demographic. And so I sat down and I wrote it. And, I took the kids to the library. At this time, the kids were really young. I was actually pregnant with my fourth child when I was still writing it. I was so passionate about this. I even took the computer to the delivery room. That's how passionate, because I'm like, this needs
I've been
to be
there. I've been there. I took a conference call. I did a national conference call podcast from the maternity ward. They laughed at me.
We're the same, yes. So what's really cool is that you see something that you need to write because no one else has written it. And that's where it drives the passion. And then I think you make things work. So for example, obviously my kids were younger at this time, and this last year, I wasn't expecting to write 5 books. It just happened. But why? Because all 4 kids were home with me. And so 2 of them actually are children's books. And I incorporated them into my mission. So my mission became their mission. My purpose became their purpose until they start to develop their own, obviously. But because I think that I've been living it and enthusiastic about it, they have seen it. We actually started our own podcast. So the kids even started their own podcast. So you take them stuck at home, like literally, this is like the first year in 14 years that was the first year in 14 years that all of the kids would have been gone from home. Like all. Like, oh, I wouldn't even know what to do with my time. But instead, with all 4 kids at home, ages from 13 to 5 at that time last year, and everybody's at home, guess what? We're going to take my projects and create them into our projects and make, a conversation around it. And that's when they're like, oh no, we know mama's working on her books, let's work. So then when it became our mission and that they were helping me with this, it was so powerful because actually they got on top of it. They even started their own YouTube channel on this and on their podcast. You see how and then you get them busy in creating purpose and creating change. And it was so powerful. And that's where they then motivated me. And then I motivated. So it was like a big, long, cycle of motivation to get this done. And really, really powerful. So the second one is the Holistic RX for Kids, Parenting Healthy Brains and Bodies in a Changing World. And then I guess I've been studying parenting for so long that when I combined it with functional integrative medicine, it blew my mind. And so that was another one that I'm like, it needs to get out in the world. So you have this mission, you have your drive, you create the time for it. I noticed that as a mom, if you can get all of that work done in the morning time before the kids go to school, the rest of the day is left for you, your business, your work, your mission, your passion. And the kids all know, and that's what I've done with them. Like, so right now my house is clean, the dishes are done, the laundry is done, the food's already done, all before 9 o'clock in the morning. And why? Because the kids have worked, all four of them worked together to get all of that nitty gritty stuff done that needs to be done by us moms and dads and caregivers just to get out of the way. So then we can really then focus on what really drives us.
So when you write a book, it's almost like the program in your head that then you just put into a book form. Are you using your book as a compendium for programs? Have you thought about that? Are you referencing it when you do see people in your, in your clinical work? How are you bringing books into that?
Absolutely. So actually, that's why I initially started to write the book, because I'm like, I need to create this program. So why not? And I want to be speaking on these topics. So why not just put it all together in a book? And that way, as I'm speaking to people, even on stages of 12,000, and as I'm speaking to my clients, along with television, so wherever I'm going, the books sort of go along with me. And so then I talk about it and then give people, because people always need like a follow up, right? Okay, so you talked about this, but where are we going to go to get more information? Or even just patients, they're like, okay, yeah, you talked about this, but where are we going to get more information? Where are we going to get the recipes? Where are we going to get the tools? And that's then all in the book. And then I've taken that book then and created programs off of it. And then so that it's like, you know, they're working together for trying to spread that same optimum, same
That's
message.
my favorite thing. It's like create content once and you can easily expand it and contract it. Like you could make probably 500 infographics,
And
6
I've done
million
that.
handouts. Yeah, I've seen them on Instagram, and it when you have that, it informs your team. And you can send it to your social media team. You can send it to your virtual assistant team. Tell me about the team. Is that what you're doing?
Absolutely. So my team, I have Mary Agnes is one of my main team members. And then same with other, like I have an entire team, Mary Agnes's team, and they are amazing. They basically take my content that I've already created and then help me create infographics, blogs out of that content, and even videos, right? And then I can create videos. So now I already have a script already ready. To then it gives me an idea on where to even start. Sometimes that gets a little hurdle. So that's why actually initially I had just started all of these. I compiled all of this literature and my research and all the evidence-based studies together of the things that I was passionate about, put it in a book, and now I actually have so all of this content available for me to create so much on social media, on even create books from that sources. So for example, like this last year, the two other books that I have written are actually for the Muslim audience, because nobody's really written a health book for the Muslim world. And I was like, okay, you know what? I have this content already. I'm going to use a lot of the same studies. I'm going to use I just rewrote it. And that's why you're able to then get, one was about the immune system. So obviously it was a little bit different, but then a lot of the same kind of research. I already had all of that research that I didn't even use for that book that I had. That's why it was a little bit easier, because I've been collecting all this information for so long. And then over time, I literally in this last year have 3 traditionally published books and 2 independent published books that are doing great, and Dr. Mark Hyman's favorite picks, and they're all going to be spreading in the message worldwide, and it's just so exciting. But now I've used and reformulated all of this information that I've already collected and compiled over time into one book, and then used different information for another book, and then for same from my compilation that I've had, right?
It's like chicken soup for the
one.
soul. Chicken soup for the soul. They're all a formula. Once the guy wrote the formula, it was really easy for him to keep coming out with more and more and more. And how much we bought them, like when that was that craze. I'm sorry, Dr. Seuss books, they're not all that different, like from one to another. It's a formula. You come up with your formula, and programs are the same way. When you come up with your program, you can then, you have one program, your next program isn't going to be radically different once you have it figured out. Like it will be tweaked. You will make it for a different audience. You'll have a different angle.
Absolutely.
So
And
smart.
so, yes, and that's how you were able to now formulate a lot of the same knowledge, but in different for different audiences. Now, this is for the Muslim world, and obviously, it looks completely different than my other books. But again, it's still talking about health and wellness and eating well and exercising and diet and lifestyle. So those key fundamental pieces that we're all talking about, right, in health, but formulated in a different way for a different audience with different pieces of information. But again, you're right. The formula is about the same, and it's really, really exciting stuff. So that's how I was able to do 5 books, because of the years of research that I've already compiled, the stuff that I didn't even use for the Holistic RX when that came out. And then I was compiling over the years for when I was trying to put that together. So you have all the stuff that's already compiled. You have the formula. It's all about just plugging it
And then so smart. I mean, now we have some kids books that are just in time for the holiday season. Holistic RX for kids that, I can tell you, I have 2 friends that just had kids. This is up their alley. Like, I'm sending it to them for holidays, for Christmas. Like, that's going on my shopping list immediately, because why not? Like, why not do that? It's so great. Just tell me, as just a final word to people that are like, I'd love to write a book, because what I love also about you, Dr. Saeed, you walk the walk, you talk the talk, you show us the behind the scenes, which is so cool. You just make it so, I'm telling you, infectious. Like, you will be addicted to her because she just gives it to you real. And, now you write a book, you tell people about your book, but you have to sell your book. So how much time are you allocating to that? And the actual promotions, and because you have to gear up for it. It's like having a baby. I love being pregnant. Like, I don't know if I love being pregnant, but I mean, you're pregnant and everything's like
right?
all good. And then one day you're like, it is going to be complete chaos in a few weeks, because then I'm going to have a baby and they're loud and they take up way more work.
And there's all these things that you want to get done before that, right?
Yes. Is this how we feel about our book launching and coming out, and how much time are we allocating?
So I don't know if there's that many people that have launched 2 books at once, let alone 3 books at once.
You had triplets.
Exactly. So I had to actually put aside, I'm like, let me focus on these 2 books first. And then I asked my publisher just to give me a couple months to take a breather when the other 3rd one launches. But it does, I think that's like a full-time job, but that's where I love organizations like Mindshare and developing those connections and that networks, because I found my people, right? And those people that are there to support and to, empower and educate alongside with you. And so a lot of it had to do, so there was lots of different pieces of that campaign that I'm working on. When obviously you have your social media, right? Trying to create infographics and images and blog articles that then all point down back to your book. And having a great team for that is amazing. Your website needs to be all perfectly ready for your book launch, so people know that you have a new baby coming out. They're all going to want a piece of it. Why they're going to want a piece of it. Creating your book trailer and the books and bonuses page, so people can then, put their information in and then get these free bonuses that I've actually created. And I have like 3 amazing bonuses that are on there. And if they pre-order the book now, so that books and bonuses page looks beautiful. And then really trying to get the publicity out there, right? Through podcasts, just like yours. So thank you so much. And then I can't wait to reciprocate it for you. And then to know that, that's what you are going to need to do, obviously, is because I also have a podcast, which I would love, can't wait for you to be on. And so sharing that, so lifting each other up is really important. So podcasts, television interviews. I think I've done about 9 television interviews, and so working on nationals right now. So things like that that can really help. Even articles that I've been published in now that all then point back to your book and your book launch.
What I like though, I was talking to someone yesterday who was saying, okay, we wrote a program for her together. It was for women who are going through really tumultuous times and creating those success principles in nutrition, in community, in mindset. Like, it was such a beautiful program. But she said, how am I going to go ahead and now tell people about this program? And I said, but it's so specific. When you're so specific and you have your brand and you have your angle, you can do it. And that's what I love about this.
You do it. You can totally do it, because again, especially if there's not that many people, and if you bring your own, everybody brings their own special, charm to what they're doing. There's nobody like you. So you got to get,
so there's no one like you, Dr. Saeed.
Like, seriously, there's no one like all of us, right? Everybody has their own individual pieces and what like the spark and the charm that they bring to their brand and to the work that they put in. And so again, find your passion, find your mission, brand it appropriately, the colors, the way everything fits together, and then just do it. Because for me, I was like, okay, I've never really been, even though I wear a headscarf, I've never really been, because I'm the type to like break stereotypes, and that's really, but there has been a lot of like pushback, like, oh my gosh, you're wearing this, and how people are gonna, I mean, I am so blessed that people my differences have actually made me stand out amongst the crowd.
Your little avatar that you made of yourself is the cutest thing. Like, I mean, when it's so simple to be able to do things like that.
Yes.
The branding comes so naturally.
Yes, the branding comes so naturally. For me, I mean, yes, I speak in emojis. I think they even said that the mind share. I speak the way, I even sent Dr. Perlmutter an emoji. And Dr. Perlmutter was like, I love your emojis. Yes, thank you. And so that's where, again, it makes you stand out. So your personality will help you shine. So really try to get out there. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be like, try to dull that shine. But no, they're not.
Shine brighter.
Glasses on, right? Because you're going to shine.
You have to.
You have to, because we need more people like all of you. And then, Sarah, all the amazing work that you're doing. You're so incredibly blessed for your work. So shine. You got to keep on shining and just tell people to put on their shade.
Dr. Saeed, this was so inspiring because you made something that seems so crazy attainable. And I think that because of that, I want everyone to support you, even if it's just to share one of your posts. Like, the free thing is to go like something, comment, share. Go ahead and recommend the book, to people. Tell people that. Buy the book, buy it for yourself, buy it for someone else. That's what we really need to do also, is all band together, because our dollars, our commerce speaks really loudly. Also, I love keeping it within communities, holistic communities. There's enough that's not holistic that we don't need to put our dollars towards. So we can
absolutely
definitely put them here.
No, absolutely. Yes. And can you imagine where, again, I saw that there was a need for parenting children that, our kids are getting sicker and sicker.
Yeah.
And you can't parent sick children or children's brains that are not working properly the same as you can parent a healthy child. And those other parenting books have all really been written for like healthy children. And so we need to use the science that we know now on how to use brain and body function, and how to connect your prefrontal cortex and your amygdala, so then they can then work appropriately. So when you give your child the autonomy in the world, they're able to then make those logical, rational decisions instead of making irrational limbic system driven decisions. And when you start doing that, then you're able to, so that's, remember what I talked about. When I talk the talk, I walk the walk. And I'm only able to do the work that I'm doing because I'm living this lifestyle. And so I have the energy and the health, knock on wood, to do it, along with my children are able to understand it. I'm able to talk to them like you're normal human beings, just like you would be talked to an adult. And so when you empower your children and yourself, all your dreams can be possible, because we don't want your health to be something that could bring you down, or your children's health to bring you down. So I'm like, I actually tell the kids, I'm like, I don't give you junk and candy. Yes, for yourselves, because I don't want to be stuck in the kitchen. I don't want to be dealing with the temper tantrums. I don't want to, we're not really recognizing that when we are feeding our children junk and crap, it actually that then, falls back on us on how difficult these children are to parent. And then we're unable to do the things that we need to do. So it's a vicious cycle. So we got to stop that by empowering yourself, empowering your children. And I'm here for you guys. If I can do this, you can do this. They never taught us any of this stuff in medical school. I had to learn this on my own. So, putting together the book proposal and then finding an agent and going through all those books, it takes time, but anybody can do that. If you really have, if you really have a purpose, try to fulfill that purpose and this mission through all of these different avenues.
We appreciate you so much. We're sending everyone links to the book, to the bonuses, to you, to your Instagram. Here's the baby. Because we couldn't do a podcast without our healthy kids.
Absolutely.
Telling them about being healthy is awesome. And we appreciate you. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Anything is possible. Even if you got little ones, just bring them part of the, just bring them on the journey with you. You guys got this. Woo!
Thanks so much for listening. And I want to help you have a healthy business inside and out. If you've been trying to market and sell your services and things just aren't clicking for you, then we'd like to help you have a major shift and feel completely confident in how you move people through a health journey. I want to invite you to take advantage of a special free health program discovery session where you'll work together with one of our coaches to create an empowering vision for your health business success. Find hidden barriers that may be limiting your growth. Feel the confidence successful health providers embody in their business, and grab some inspiration for yourself to have a highly converting, highly successful signature health program. Head over to sarahtegender.com/work with Sarah to grab one of our limited spots.